Hello, so I'm going to show you how to make a tree in Maya. First off, you're going to go to your curves and you're going to get an EP curve tool or another curve tool of your choice in your uh, Maya equivalent. It can't be too curvy, it has to still flow like a little line. And then we're going to make a cylinder and we only want the bottom plane of it. We're going to put it in the middle because our curve spawns in the direct middle. We're going to select all the faces and select the curve and then extrude it and then up the divisions. So now it looks more, our cylinder looks a lot more curvy now. So now we're going to take these vertices and manipulate them so that our new cylinder looks like a tree trunk. And you want to cap that tree off, so you're going to merge vertices on the top. So now that we made a tree, we need to make branches. So we're going to make branches the exact same way with curves. These are EP curves. We can do that. Control C. So now I'm going to show you how to make one branch, and the rest you can do yourself. It's the same process as making a tree. Bring it down to the center, like that, and see if it's in the center. Yes, it is. You want to center pivot this to make your life easier, because normally the pivot's all the way down there, right there. But then that's a pain in the ass to move around, so you have to center pivot like that. Okay, so let's move the tree out of the way, and you want to edit, delete all history when you can, especially when dealing with curves, because say you move a cylinder that you made from a curve, uh, but do not move the curve with the cylinder, it's going to mess the cylinder up. And as we are done with that curve, we can just delete it. But in order to delete it, we need to delete our history. Otherwise, our shape will get messed up. So here we're making a somewhat low polygon branch, and it's capped off on the top. We merge vertices. Now I don't know why my thing is black, but it's black because our normals are inverted. So we need to reverse normals, and that's should be in mesh display, I believe. See, that's what we get for moving curves without deleting history. I want you to pause the video now and make your own branches. And then I want you to UV map those branches to your liking. Got it? Good luck. I'll come back to you with my branches completed and UV mapped. Okay, so now we have our branches. We're going to duplicate them and make smaller branches because trees have smaller branches. These branches will contain our leaves and will basically make our tree look like a tree. So we'll make 3 types of branches. We may not use all of them, but the more variations we have, the easier it is for us to be later down the line. Plus, we can always mix and match with trees in the future. Different tree trunks, same branches. No one's going to tell the difference, and it's going to make your life easier. And we're going to have, and what you want to do is you want to have, we're going to notice how we're making these new branches from these other branches, from the older branches. Now, what's really important about this is that our UV maps are going to be the same. And so we won't have to move them around. Our overall texture maps would be, it can use the same textures as our larger branches. And that's going to make our life easier as an artist, or whoever's doing the textures. It's going to make their life easier. Now we're going to now position the branches to make our life easier when putting leaves on them. Because we need to put on a lot of leaves. Otherwise, if we don't put enough leaves, the tree looks not good. It looks like a stick with leaves on it. It doesn't look like a tree. It doesn't, you know. So here, what we just did is we made a smaller branch with even less detail than the other ones, and it will still use the same UV maps and textures and such. But this one's gonna have like leaves on it, or connect two leaves. So now we're making a leaf that's gonna have planes, and you wanna insert an edge loop and then make it a rough shape of a leaf. You want it to be polygonal, and you don't want it to have that many subdivisions because it ultimately doesn't matter, because the texture of the leaf is going to be transparent. So no one's going to notice the poly count. So why bother having a lot of polygons on it? The less polygons, after all, the better. Then we want to have that the right size and then duplicate it. Like I said before, the more trees, the better. I mean, more leaves, the better it is. Another thing that is important to know is that the UV map of your leaves has to be a certain has to be in respect to where the pivot point is, because if you attach any regular your leaf texture, it's not gonna be facing the correct way. It could be upside down. It could be it'll be just the wrong side. So you have to orient your UV map of this leaf, so your textures won't be out of whack. So now we're putting on these leaves that we made just now. You want to be really, really liberal with your leaves and branches, because you really want it to look like a tree. And of course, the more branches and leaves you put on, the more polygons you're gonna have. But it ultimately won't matter in the end, because if you apply level of details to your trees, after a certain distance, it won't be that bad. Look at all. And this tree modeling isn't perfect, but it's not. It's not the You're gonna make better trees than this one, but it's to show you how it's done in theory, so you'll be able to do it a lot better in practice. Because it's not perfect tree. In reality, like if I were to do this again, I would definitely use less polygons in the cylinders, This is when it all comes together. Put the branches on the trees, scale them up, scale them down, and then copy and paste, and no one's gonna notice. No one's gonna look at your trees and scrutinize your branches, and if they do, they won't be able to tell because they'll scale differently, and they won't be able to tell uh, even if they knew what they were looking at. Now I'm gonna fast forward this part because it's not that detail filled. Would you look at that? A genuine tree. Now this is ready to be exported into Unreal Engine, Unity, what have you. Um, you want to duplicate this and then merge the mesh and then delete the history. You want to make sure it's directly in the middle of the grid, because otherwise when you export your FBX into whatever game engine you want, the tree's not going to be centered in the pivot. It's going to be problematic. And in Unity, I believe Unreal Engine doesn't have this problem. Back when I was doing Unity, if you didn't delete your history, a lot of garbage would come in with your FBX file. So delete your history, kids. And not only that, deleting history just makes Maya a little bit faster. But anyways, that's the tree.